Hi everyone, this is Bruno Falcone. I am here with Nav from Heal With Nav. This is, I feel like very grateful because we only met in this couple of days. We are both here we're trying to improve ourselves and improve our businesses, and we're working on ourselves. That's what we've been doing, yes? But thank you for being here with me. And Nav, I feel very lucky because of what I do. I always get to meet with people such as yourself, extremely successful, working in Singapore, worldwide phenomenon in Singapore, yeah? Now, can you tell me a little bit more about why did you start Heal With Nav?
First of all, thank you for having me here, Bruno, with yourself, and I feel extremely honored to be in this space with you.
Thank you.
So, as you asked me why Heal With Nav, I saw there was a lot of gap, there was a lot of stress. You know, as we live in Singapore, there's a lot of stress building up. There are people walking around with some unseen wounds, and those are invisible wounds.
Yeah.
But as the stress accumulates, those invisible wounds used to come to surface. So people would have exaggerated responses, there would be outbursts and, microaggressions. I would wonder what went wrong,
Yeah.
what's going on? So I'm a psychology graduate. I graduated in psychology honors, but I did my master's in organizational behavior.
Yeah.
So this was a transition when I was in Singapore, and I realized this gap, what's going on? And then there was this feeling, I want to go for counseling. I want to do the healing work. And that led me to the space of learning counseling and then learning trauma work. Because trauma was like, now we see that this is a buzzword, but it was not a buzzword then. I felt trauma in my system myself. I felt trauma all around me. And I'm like, this is the time I need to do something what I can do as an individual for myself and to contribute to the society. And that's why Heal With Nav came into existence.
And I mean, like you said, trauma is a big buzzword. But you study in the space for a very long time. How would one know that has trauma in their life?
That's such a good question, because most of us, we mask, So before you know whether we have trauma or not, there are lists, I can give it to you. But before we know that or not, it's, there's a constant feeling of emptiness. There's a constant feeling that something is wrong with me. There is constant, the way we relate to the worldview get distorted. People are after me, or, it's not a safe place. It's dog-eat-dog kind of a world.
Yeah.
That's the worldview. Self-view, something is wrong with me. I'm not good enough. I'm not lovable. People don't love me. People betray me. Or the most important one, if you see, is the patterns. If you see some pattern repeating in your life again and again and again, it's like some people come to me, they say, oh, it feels like I'm dating the same guy with different face. What is going on? It's like a pattern repeating in their life. That is the time that there is some dynamics of trauma which is underpinning. The most important, if you ask me, is an exaggerated response. A normal, mature adult, we can regulate ourselves. We can talk ourselves out of it. We can take a deep breath. Hey, calm down. Everything is okay. We can bounce back. But somebody who had trauma, they are not able to regulate themselves. For them, it just stretches. It keeps on stretching. So they are in that dysregulated space for quite a bit of time. And it's a challenge for them to bounce back.
Yeah.
So that is, a basic layman terms.
An alert.
Yeah.
So basic alerts, if I understand correctly, like whenever you would have trauma, it's so deep inside of you that you would just see it by some symptoms. So you react exaggeratedly and you repeat patterns in your life that are negative.
Absolutely.
And it's just like at the tip of the iceberg for you to know there's something that you want to work on. And then, I mean, like, I can tell you that myself, I feel like, and I feel like everybody in the world would relate in some shape or form with patterns, and I know personally that I've opened the Pandora box, and I tried to work on it, right? And it was I felt very unstable, unsafe. Like I
Yes.
felt, and so much so that, between you and I felt like that I needed to close that Pandora box and to open it back on whenever I was ready for it, right?
Absolutely.
But how, like obviously the people that work with you, they feel safe and they feel like they can work on, and how do you make it so it is not disruptive in someone's life? Because that would be, I feel, for
Obviously.
somebody that's successful, like somebody that
Of course.
needs to be on the top of the game, that needs to be like constantly pushing, that can feel like a handbrake.
Absolutely.
So how do you help these people, like because I know that you work with very successful people, how do you help them so it doesn't disrupt their life?
Yeah. So there's something called stabilization. There's something called resourcing. So if I give you a layman example, if somebody goes for a big surgery, they are going for open heart surgery or they're going for some dialysis, what do doctors do? They give them anesthesia, right?
Yes.
Why? Why do they give them anesthesia?
So they don't feel pain.
Exactly. So in trauma healing also, we do the stabilization work. We do the resourcing work. We give them resources. We cushion them, give them cushions so that we increase their capacity to do the work. We would never open a Pandora box. We would never open something which the person is not ready to open yet.
Wow.
So there is no force. We are not forcing them to do the work. We are making them ready. So instead of opening the petals of the bud to bloom it, we allow the petal, the flower to bloom on its own. We create the conditions. We create the right conditions of safety and stability. So that's part of my training. That's part of, the therapy work we do. And another example that's coming to me right now, if someone does not have the capacity and if you're too fast to go into the trauma work and they get destabilized, it's almost like there is a 40-watt bulb and I try to pass 100-watt electricity through it. What's going to happen? It explodes. So we don't want that to happen. We don't want people to be destabilized in their day-to-day lives. We create enough safety within their bodies, within them. So it's there in them wherever they go, whether they are sitting, whether they are sleeping, they can tap into that inner safety. And we also help them to create outer safety, which is outside of their body. So when I do somatic work, it's mostly inside, from inside out. We call it bottoms-up approach, body to brain. And we also talk to them, which is brain to body. So it's a very comprehensive approach to establish safety, stability, and increase capacity before we do the operation.
Wow.
Trauma work.
That is very, it's so interesting to hear. And I'm glad that I met you, but I'm also upset that I didn't meet you earlier in my life, right? But what I wanted to tell you, I think, and this is only if you let me, obviously, like if you feel safe enough to talk about it. But I was talking, obviously, like this is a beautiful space. I met your husband, and he mentioned something about you understanding your clients because you went through it yourself.
Yeah.
So, and I'm asking only like if you feel safe enough.
Of course.
But if you think, how do you think that I feel like experiencing all of this trauma in your life has helped you now helping other people?
Of course. I think it's easy to relate because when you have experienced that pain yourself, when I entered this space, there was a lot of pain in me, to be honest, physically, emotionally, and it deteriorated me because when I learned everything, I was like, oh my God, right in my face. Oh my God, this is happening with me. This is happening. And I feel helpless. So before we heal, before we go into that beautiful space of healing, there's a lot of, destruction because you have to unlearn certain things. You have to grieve. You have to go through the pain before you rebuild yourself. It's like just vanish everything what has happened. You are zero, you're back to square one, and then. But again, the support of my people with me, like my husband, is very supportive. And, my therapist, my mentors, I'm still, working with my therapists, my mentors, my supervisors. They help me. So that's the community support. So we need that community support, definitely. Going back to my traumas, it helps me connect better with the person. It helps me to stay in the space of compassion. It helps me to be in the space of non-judgment because I know how hard hard it is to go through that pain, to have those inner wounds in you.
Yeah.
And you won't believe, Bruno, when I started somatic experiencing, and we had a 3 deep intensive years kind of a work when we go through all of this, and we practice everything on ourselves also. So we have other therapists and we practice on each other. I felt in that space, oh my God, how broken I am. I'm like, you name the trauma, I have it. You name it, I have it. And that made me even more depressed and sad that what is it? I'm such a mess. And there was this question mark on myself. Who gave me the right to heal someone else when I'm this broken?
Myself.
Yes, that was a big question mark. And then slowly with my own therapy, with my own work, in my own healing journey, I realized, the wounded healers are the best healers because they can connect better, they can feel better, they can empathize better, and they can create those spaces for compassion. But that question lingered on my mind for quite some time until I did my own healing work,
Yeah.
where I came in that space. Oh yes, no.
I think the other thing that is happening with you specifically is that I feel nobody wants to admit they have something to work on. Nobody wants to admit they have trauma. Nobody wants to admit that because it feels like you're weak, right? Especially, I can talk about men and, like this alpha mindset,
Absolutely.
mentality. I can tell you that men would absolutely hate to admit that they have some work to do. And I see, you obviously do an incredible work on the mind. I work on the outside, on the image.
Yeah.
And whenever people come to me and it's hard for them to admit that they need help to work on it. They need to improve themselves. So what I like about you is that you preach and you do. So you do it on yourself and you help other people doing. And I feel there's a lot of people out there that don't do that, right? Like a lot of professionals that don't do that. So if anything, somebody coming to you, they should feel the fact that you have experienced it yourself, and then you're healing, and you are excellent. Like you are the best at what you do, Singapore and worldwide, which is incredible, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I can see in terms of us two working together, it's almost like I said, you work on the mind, on the inside, on the process. And I see a lot of broken people that come to me. And obviously, my type of work is instant. Like within a month, they'll look at themselves in the mirror and you see whenever they receive the new custom tailored clothes, they look at the mirror, they stand taller, they look lighter. It's very incredible for me to see it because it's a very fast transformation, right? Because it's it's a transformational process, but it only takes a few weeks.
Yes.
But how do you feel? Because this is a very similar thing. How do you feel when you see that your clients are transforming and breaking those walls and those barriers?
Wow, it's a beautiful space to be. It's very heartwarming to see them. I always tell, and Bruno, before that, I want to compliment you because yes, the styling you have, the way you carry yourself, and I've met Angela also, the way you both carry yourself and your dressing sense, amazing. And if that can help someone elevate their confidence, why not? Why not? It's instantaneous, it's quite fast. While they are working to build themselves inside through their mind, through their body, this is something outwards which can give them an instant shift, an instant. So I will count it as a resource. I will count it as one of the resource and one of the part of the stabilization process.
Oh.
So if somebody is struggling with confidence, somebody is struggling with social anxiety, or somebody is struggling with, being with people, and there is something about their persona or their body image, I would definitely recommend them to do some kind of transformation work with their clothing.
Okay.
That would be a part of resourcing also. So the game plan, outside resourcing, as I mentioned to you, to increase capacity, one of this It's super.
It's something like that.
Definitely.
Oh, well, that's very interesting to hear.
Yes.
Because obviously, it is so, like, you don't understand. It's very incredible for me to hear it because
Yeah.
one of the very first things that I always focus on is more confidence, right? Like, because that's what I know.
Absolutely.
I was, like, whenever people meet me now, they always see the end result.
Exactly.
But they don't know that
The
when I
process.
was a teenager, I went through, some bullying, or I went through like moments of my life where I wasn't the most confident. But then for me specifically, what changed is I learned, and I don't know if it's a reality, but what I learned is that confidence can be manipulated. Like you can produce confidence. So you don't need to have it in you from the start, but you can produce it, right?
Yeah.
Like it's something that you can make. Like like a plate of pasta, you can make it, right? And so that was my experience. So when and this is what I understand, but what I like about what you just said is about deeper and even more meaningful states where social anxiety, very, very incredible that you thought of that's correlated.
That's correlated. And body consciousness, body image issues.
Yes.
When people don't feel confident in their own skin, I don't look good,
Yeah.
this is coming out, this is flab, there's a flab here. So this is the quick fix, okay?
Yeah.
But it's a part of the resource plan.
Yes.
If you you start to feel good, I'm building your capacity to do the deeper work,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And so whenever you got somebody there with social anxiety, for example, or lack of confidence, or let's say body dysmorphia, is that how you see, is that one of the symptoms that makes it so they should work with you?
They would come with that issue, definitely.
But that's a symptom.
That's a symptom. But the underlying issue would be deeper.
Wow.
So, for example, as a child, there were remarks, on their body image. Oh, you're too fat, or you look like a round ball, in school, bullying, or either by parents and caregivers, remarks on their food habits. You eat a lot of potato chips, or stopping them from eating every time. A lot of, those remarks which are critical. So if the caregivers are critical in the growing years, children pick up those things,
Yes.
and they see their parents, monkey see, monkey do. So if they see their parents struggling with, their own bodies, they pick it up. They pick it up. So this is not nice. My skin color is not nice. My hair is not nice.
Oh, that's okay. Go through. So good.
It's
For
okay.
what? It's so easy. No worries. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, if something has happened in the childhood, like one of my clients, she was trying to lose weight like anything, but she couldn't. And she had a hell lot of autoimmune disorders, you name it. And it's like, I have this autoimmune, I'm going for this, surgery for the stomach to reduce my stomach size. All those things are going on, and she's struggling with diabetes. And what happened was throughout her life, in her youth and in her childhood, the mother was always very, very critical about the eating habits. The mother would ration her food.
Wow.
Basically, no, girls have to be a particular, they have
shape.
to look like, a particular shape. They have to be feminine. So because of that restriction, once she was out of the shade of mom, she moved houses, she came out of that house, she binged eat. And then there was a lot of shame, there was a lot of guilt. I'm not that feminine anymore. So then it led to more issues because there are a lot of self-beliefs. I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
I'm not in good shape. I'm not good enough. I cannot keep to the resolve. I cannot look feminine. I do not deserve love in my life. She didn't get married also. No kids, no family.
Yeah.
So she's staying all by herself, and she's in her 50s. So this is the thing, this is the kind of repercussions, the ripple effect from the childhood issue, how we relate to our caregivers and how our caregivers.
Yeah.
And it's not only about the caregivers, because usually we put a lot of, emphasis on childhood experiences. We put a lot of emphasis on the caregivers. I feel it's the society at large, community at large. You go to school, bullies, teachers, and the community where you live. So,
And do you feel that we are all of us adults going around, are we just like the child running around and trying to make it happen, but we're still the child?
You said it all. You said it all, Bruno. You summarized it so well. We are infants in adult's body.
Yeah.
If we talk about infant, do infants know how to regulate themselves?
No.
No. They'll cry. They'll
Yes.
cry their heart out. They want somebody else to take care of themselves. They can't soothe themselves. They don't
Yeah.
know what's going on. They want. So sometimes when we have no trauma or less trauma, we have that capacity of self-soothing.
Okay.
And that's the capacity we are talking about even for the trauma work.
Yes.
So same incident, if a husband and wife goes through divorce, one goes at the beer, bar and is drinking, other goes and party or something like that, There are two different responses. So what's happening? Because the capacity of each person is different.
Yes.
So trauma is not what happens to you. Trauma is not in the event. Trauma is what happens inside of me as a result of what is happening to me. So what's
Trauma
the feeling?
is what's happening inside as a result of what's happening in my world.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's not just the bad things, it's the absence of good things. Absence of good things which should have happened but didn't happen.
Okay.
Like my mom should be cuddling me, my father should be hugging me, they should be praising me, or they should promote me.
Yeah.
But instead I had an overcritical parent.
Yeah.
Or domestic violence. I have witnessed domestic violence a lot, or I have been a victim of domestic violence myself. Then all those things are going to impact your capacity. It's going to shrink. It's going to shrink. And sometimes to a point where it's non-existent. And then we see those people who are always angry. It becomes their personality. So trauma decontextualized in a person becomes their personality.
Okay.
I become that person, and then everybody sees me as an angry person.
In my experience, because obviously I try to work on the fact that my parents, for example, they would see something in me and they will give me a label. Like they will label me for whatever it was. So in the morning, don't talk to him because he's in a bad mood every morning. But then the more that I will hear it, the more that I would think it was true.
True.
And then I would never change.
Yeah.
So I feel like in my latest years, like in the past few years, I want to say 5 years, not that long, I've been working on not giving myself a label and understand that there's always something that you can work on. And if it's something happens that's negative, it shouldn't define you, right?
Absolutely.
So I think in my opinion, like in my experience, whenever let's say I have somebody that comes to me and is overweight, for example, and I would try to tell them not to give them that label. They will say, oh, my body is X. They will say something negative about themselves. And I will say, I don't think I don't really see it. Like they'll see it themselves. And I mean, like going back to like that cushion, like that work that I can do with them, sometimes it's about a shorter person. There's a way to make them look taller, right? Like there's different dimensions. And for me, it's like, as a tailor, I would say, don't suck in your belly. I'll hide it. It's my job to hide.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
So I would say, like, be yourself, and I'm going to make you look whatever you have on the inside, I'm going to bring it outside.
Yeah.
So just even just here while we were here, this gentleman, like you could, which I won't name it. I'm not like, but you might know who I'm talking about as I'm saying it. And I was talking to him and I was like, like you have it. It's on the inside. It's already there. You just need help like to bring it out. I mean, and I was like, that's so easy for me to do that for you. So bring out the beautiful things that you have on the inside. And sometimes these people, they had problems maybe even showing it. Do you think in your clients and in your people, do they have trouble showing? Why do they have trouble showing their true self, the authentic self? We had a conversation about authenticity.
Yes.
Why do you think it's such a problem?
Because of shame. Number one, they are in shame a lot. So
because of shame.
Because of shame. And then there is a lot of conditioning around them. Whatever people have told them, they've internalized those stories as their own truths. Yeah. When you start living someone else's label or story as your own truth, you forget yourself. You're disconnected from your core self. And when you are not in touch with yourself, you're living someone else's reality. what they have given you, and that becomes your personality. You may not be that, but because you're repeating that over and over and over again in your mind, that becomes your
And
reality.
so how do you create a new label? So,
How do you create a new label?
you live in the labels that somebody give you. How do you create that new label?
Yes. Stop using the old one. Start using the new one more. It's almost like the road is closed. I can't take that road for too long. But what will I do? I forget that road is closed. So each time I drive out of my home to go to my office, I drive that way. And then I remember, oh no, that road is closed. One day, second day, third day, and fourth day, I'll be very mindful. Navroop, that road is closed. Please take the other route.
Wow.
So the more I practice on the other route, the more this one gets weaker. So this identity gets weaker if I'm practicing this identity. And that's called neuroplasticity. We call it neuroplasticity. Neurons that fire together, wire together. So if you're using a certain way of doing stuff again and again and again, it gets wired in you. It gets so hardwired in you that then it starts to shine through you.
Oh my God.
So it's a practice.
That's beautiful.
It's a practice. Yeah.
Whenever I see, it's funny, again, they'll come to me and I'll say, look, whatever clothes you have, this is what I said to them. Your going out clothes, they are all of your everyday clothes.
Okay.
You're going out, it's every day, all day, every day. And then let's talk about your new going out clothes, right?
Yeah.
But then whenever they work with me, I can see that the more that they work with me, that then they start thinking of themselves, this is who I am now.
Exactly.
But I couldn't describe it because I'm not a psychologist, but
No. But Bruno,
it's so great to hear.
Absolutely.
From
And you know what? While I was listening to you and while I was talking to you, I'm a certified therapist,
Yeah.
But I want to certify you. If anybody asks you, you're the most trauma-informed, tailors or the suit makers.
Okay.
Because when we say trauma-informed, you're not labeling them. You're not judging them. There is no judgment. There is more acceptance. There is more inclusivity. There is more compassion. There is more, who are you? And whatever you are, we are going to make you shine through it. So there's a lot of, these are the beautiful words, non-judgmental approach.
Yes.
It's not a critical approach, but it's non-judgmental. There is a high positive regard for someone.
Yeah.
So you accept them who they are.
Of course.
Whatever you are, it's okay for us. We'll dress you up. We'll style you up, and you will be confident again. So you're the most trauma-informed suit makers I've ever met in my life. Please, take it from me.
I love it. I like it. I'll take it. I'll ask you one last question. And this is, again, I was speaking about you, and I heard a story about you in Spain and a room full of people that were brought down to their tears.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel safe enough to tell me that story or not?
Okay, so
Because this is a beautiful story.
Exactly.
I think this will help people see this part of you. It's a little bit more. It's
authentic
a bit
and
raw.
raw.
It's a little more raw, right?
Yeah.
But today you are successful. Today you are the person that you are today. But
Thank you for reminding me and giving me that cushion. I can share that.
But back in the day, you were broken. So tell me a little bit of that journey, because I promise you, this will inspire so many people out there to propel themselves to success.
Okay. So just to sum it up, because it would be too much if I start sharing everything about the trauma. But Bruno, I come from a very conservative family. We are 2 daughters. And all my life, I've seen a lot of domestic violence in my own family and a lot of abortions because we were 2 girls and parents wanted, because my grandparents wanted another baby boy, but there was no baby boy. So every time there was an abortion, girls. So I've grown up with a lot of domestic violence all around, no safety cushion and where to run. So except for spirituality, that was my good, so I'll pray. And getting married in a space where I felt a little betrayed by my in-laws also. Something happened and it was like a lot of domestic violence started from there on in the family. And I was completely broken. As a child, my capacity was already lower because of domestic violence and no safety in my family and in my life. And also I got burnt. I had a burn accident in which 40% of my body got charred. So left side of my body is completely scarred. It's
Wow.
charred. So until here, from here, neck down to here, it's charred. It's full of scars. So I had a burn accident. All those things were like already weighing me down. My capacity was quite low. After marriage, something happened. And then what happened in Spain was I used to feel some body sensations, in my pelvic region and here. And I always thought maybe it's a sexual abuse because growing in India, there are chances and maybe I'm not aware. In my childhood, maybe some sexual abuse, which I'm not aware of,
Okay.
childhood amnesia. But I feel extreme pain. I don't know what it is. And with extreme courage, I went up to the teacher and said, I want to be the demo participant. And she's like, it's a juicy story. Let's bring you up. And I'm like, oh my God, am I being a juicy story? And she's like, she brought me up. And because it involves touch, and this was a safe touch, I do a lot of touch and somatic work also with my clients. What came out was my body started to shake, and it was shaking to an extent that nobody could stop it. Means like my teacher was asking me to open my eyes and I was crying, howling. And I started pressing my stomach down. I don't know what I was doing because I didn't go with any story. There was no story.
Yeah.
But the trauma leaves its legacy and imprints in the body, So everything is stored in my body. Body keeps the score. So I was like, I don't know what's going on. And suddenly I have a flashback, which was like I had an abortion. After my daughter, before my son, there was another child. And there was something. I started bleeding. I went to the hospital and the doctor said, everything is fine. I said, no, but I'm bleeding very heavily, profusely. And they said, no, everything is fine. They gave me an injection. They sent me back home. And at home, everything started to become worse. I came back to the hospital and they said, oh, yeah, when she came earlier, there was a heartbeat in the child and now the child is no more. Oh. So we have to do suction vacuum cleaning of her stomach and pull the baby out because now it has exploded in pieces. So what I experienced in Spain, but I was under anesthesia. I was under anesthesia when that happened. But what I experienced on that table with my therapist, a vacuum cleaning my stomach with my eyes open.
Yeah.
And
you feel it all.
Yeah. And now this time I could feel the emotional aspect also.
Yeah.
I was feeling it in my body and I was feeling it in my heart and my eyes were tearing it and I was howling and everything was like, I was going bonkers. And when that whole process happened and I calmed down and the teacher said, it's over, you're out of it now.
Yes.
The baby is in other plane, he's fine.
Yeah.
And you have 2 other children, healthy children.
Yep.
It brought me back to life. But had it not been that teacher and had it not been, me taking the chance of what's going on here.
Yes.
Why am I always feeling that sensation? And it was like, obviously it's like vibration and all because it's vacuum sucking and it's painful. But when that happened in the operation theater, I was under anesthesia.
And after that experience, where were you there? What's that bridge to that your personal feeling of wholeness, success, and you feel good? Like, what's that bridge after that event?
So what happens, we call it incomplete responses in the body. And when there are incomplete responses in the body, the energy, the life force energy gets stuck somewhere.
Okay.
It's tied up. It's not available in the whole body for me to move freely and live my life in good spirits and holy and, as a wholesome person. So after this, I felt my body opening up more. I feel more alive. I feel my capacity gone up. Of course, it's a journey. So I go for my own work, as I mentioned to you. In fact, I tell all my clients, run away from a therapist who is not doing their own work. We are all humans.
Yes.
We cannot be immune to humanity and emotional wounding. The way I show up for myself and for others have changed drastically. Dramatically. So the increase in capacity, that's slow. But that time it felt too much. Another word of caution which I want to put it here is we cannot do it by ourselves.
No.
We we are wounded in relationships, we heal in relationships. When my light is dim, I need someone else's light to show me the light so that my light can shine brighter. Like people who come to you, they're not feeling good in their bodies, or maybe they have some issues, like the gentleman we were talking about just now, a few minutes back. Maybe he's not feeling good. And here you are with your light. Hey, here's my light.
Let me help
I can
you.
fill you. I can fill you up. So we need that when my light is flickering, I need someone else's light. So I think recognizing that humanity, that we don't know everything.
Yeah.
We are not know-it-all people.
And
we need help.
And you can be the light for all of these people.
Yes.
Now,
and we all can be for each other.
I love that. Can I ask you then, so if anybody wants to reach out to you, how would they do that? Like, do they find you on social media, your website? Yes. Tell me everything.
Yes. So my website is up and running. Everything is there. You can contact, you can book your slots there.
Yes.
We also do trainings, group trainings. We also do retreats, corporate trainings, lunchtime talks, seminars, workshops. So we have lots and lots of work which we can do.
Lots of tools.
Lots of tools.
For different people in different capacity.
Absolutely. The base is trauma work. The base is we help you with the wounding part and making that coal shine bright like yourself. And that's what we do. But of course, whatever the requirement is, whatever the context is, we can incorporate that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And the website name is? www.healwithnav.com. So yes. That's the name of my website.
Yes.
And my Insta channel is Heal With Nav.
Heal With Nav. I love it. Easy. Thank you. Look, now, thank you so much for being with us today. I think I really believe that this is going to be great for a lot of the people out there that are struggling with, or they're even afraid to be successful. They're even afraid to get to that next stage of life. And I feel this was a very great information for a lot of people. To recap, like, it is about what you see in your life. Are you reacting? You're overreacting. Are you seeing yourself like you don't deserve it? Are you seeing yourself like in the actions that you do? Is it patterns that keep on repeating yourself that bring you down to like a life that you don't want? That's when you know that you might want to work on some of those traumas, and you're there for them, helping them with that.
Absolutely.
Thank you again for being with us.
You summarized it so well. Awesome.
Thank you again for being with us. Thank you for being raw. I think that's also a very beautiful way for people to see that there is opportunity, there is a chance, and don't feel alone in where you are, and there's a way for you to be better and feel good again. Sometimes can be quick within the 4 weeks with me. Sometimes it can be a little bit longer. But that is the work that will last for the whole lifetime.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bruno.
Thank you for being here. And
pleasure is mine. Thank you.
And I can't wait to work with you again next time I'm in Singapore.
Please do come. We'll host you. Thank you. Thank you so much.